What if your mind isn't tired? It's just out of tune. And what if a simple 15-minute reset could shift your thoughts, your energy, and even the reality you step into next? Most people think burnout comes from doing too much, but the truth is, burnout comes from thinking the same old way for too long. Your mind keeps running the same loops, the same worries, the same stories. And those loops drain you more than any job or task ever could. You've felt it, right? The heavy feeling. That fog in your head. That strange moment when you know you're awake. But it feels like your mind hasn't caught up. This video is your reboot button. Because here's something wild. Your brain isn't just a storage unit for memories. It's a frequency device. Every thought sends out a tiny signal. Every emotion shifts your inner field. And when you get stuck in the same state for too long, your system stops updating. Like a computer frozen on an old screen. But the good news? Just like a device, your mind has a reset mode. A way to clear old noise and open the channel again. And today, we're going to use it. Back in the early 1900s, scientists discovered something strange. A tiny experiment, the double-slit experiment, revealed that particles behave differently when you observe them. Matter changes when you pay attention. Think about that. If attention can shift particles, what can your attention do to yourself? Your thoughts are not harmless little ideas floating in your head. They are waves. Waves that crash into your future. Waves that echo into your body, your habits, your outcomes. So the question is, what waves have you been sending? Because if your life feels stuck, your mind might be stuck in the wrong wavelength. That's where a quantum reset comes in. Before we reset, let's prepare your inner space. Take a slow breath in, not to relax, but to wake up. Feel the air lift you. Feel your chest expand like new room is forming inside you. Now breathe out. Let the noise fall. Let the old thoughts melt like static fading off a radio. Good. In this state, your brain slips into a frequency where change becomes easier. Your neural pathways soften. Your inner world becomes flexible, like warm clay ready to be shaped. This is where the reset begins. Imagine your mind as a field of tall grass. Every time you think a certain thought, you walk the same path. Again and again, until the path becomes deep and everything else grows wild. A quantum reset doesn't erase the field. It simply lets the grass grow back. It gives you a new direction to walk. And in just 15 minutes, you can create a new path, one that leads you to clarity, calm, and power. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture a small glowing sphere in the center of your chest. It pulses softly, not bright, not loud. Just steady. With each breath, see it growing. One pulse. Then another. Slow, warm, alive. This light is your inner frequency returning to balance. Now imagine the light rising, moving from your chest to your throat to the center of your mind. And when it reaches your mind, something unlocks. A click like a door opening. That is the beginning of your quantum reset. But here's the strange part. When this inner light reaches its peak, something remarkable happens. Your brain begins to release old patterns. You may feel a shift, a ripple. A sensation like your whole system is refreshing itself. And in the next phase of this meditation, we're going to push that reset even deeper. Into the place where your thoughts form before you ever think them. That's where the real reset happens. So stay with me. Because in part 2, you'll enter the space where your future self is already waiting. And that's where the mind reboot becomes real. When we left off, the inner light in your mind had just unlocked a door. A door most people never even notice. This is the entrance into the deeper layers of your awareness. The place where thoughts begin. But here's where it gets even stranger. Scientists studying the brain found something called a readiness potential. A tiny electrical spark that fires before you make a choice. Your mind starts acting before you decide anything. It means this. Your thoughts have roots beneath your awareness. And this is where the real reset must happen. Imagine your mind as a radio tuner. Most of the time, it's stuck on one station, the station of worry, stress, or overthinking. You hear the same noise, you feel the same energy, you react the same way. But what if there were 100 other stations? Clearer, calmer, brighter. And you simply never turn the dial? A quantum reset gives you your tuner back. It lets you shift the channel of your consciousness instead of staying locked on the old one. Now imagine if this was applied to your own life. What station have you been stuck on for years? And what would it feel like to finally change it? Let me tell you a story. There was a woman named Lila, always anxious, always tired. She said her mind felt like a spinning wheel, fast, noisy, and impossible to stop. One day, she tried a simple 15-minute reset ritual. She didn't expect much. She sat. She breathed. She imagined that same glowing sphere you just visualized. And something happened. For the first time, the wheel slowed down. She said it felt like someone finally turned off the engine inside her chest. But here's the part that changed her life. As she practiced this reset each day, she noticed moments, tiny moments, where her old thoughts tried to pull her back, but instead of falling into them, she felt she had a choice. A new path opened. The grass in the field grew back. Her mental radio dial finally loosened. 3 months later, Lila's coworkers said she seemed like a new person. Not because her life changed, but because she changed the frequency she lived in. And it all began with a reset that took 15 minutes. So let me ask you, what would happen if you gave yourself that same chance? This is where most people get it wrong. They think change comes from forcing, from effort, from pushing harder. But the brain doesn't work that way. Real transformation comes from disengaging before you re-engage. Just like restarting a device. You don't scream at the screen. You simply hit reset, and the system clears the glitch on its own. Your mind works the same way, and the reset begins in silence, in attention, in the tiny space between one thought and the next. But here's the part that almost nobody talks about. When you quiet the old frequencies, your brain begins to rewire, all by itself. Your neurons start forming new paths. Your emotional patterns soften. Your inner world shifts from survival to creation. You become different because your brain finally has the space to be different. Let's go back into the meditation space for a moment. Close your eyes again. See that glowing sphere in your mind. Now picture it like a radio dial, turning, slowly, gently, clicking into a clearer channel. With each click, imagine noise fading. Old thoughts dropping away. Like dust falling off a mirror. Like fog lifting from a valley. Breathe in. Feel the new frequency opening. Breathe out. Let the old patterns dissolve. Now picture the sphere sending out waves, soft ripples that move through your whole body, your chest, your spine, your arms, your legs. Each ripple wipes away a layer of mental static, and with every wave you feel lighter, clearer, more you. This is your field resetting itself. This is the moment where transformation begins. There was a man named Julian, overwhelmed, lost in his head. He said it felt like life was happening to him, not with him. But during a race one day, his heart pounding, his breath shaking, he stopped. He focused on a single breath. Then another, then a third. That was it. Just 3 slow breaths. And suddenly, he said he felt a switch flip, not in his body, but in his mind. It was the first moment in years where he felt present. Alive, in control. That was his quantum reset moment. Fast, simple, powerful. And from that day on, he used this reset whenever he felt overwhelmed. Within 2 months, he said his life didn't just feel different. It looked different. Why? Because his mind finally returned to the right frequency. So let me ask you this. If a single breath can shift your state, what could 15 minutes do? What could a full reset unlock for you? What part of your life is waiting for your mind to finally tune in? We've explored the science. We've walked through the stories. You've felt the shift begin inside you, but we're only halfway. Because the deepest part of the quantum reset is the part that connects you to something bigger, the version of you that already exists on the other side of your transformation. In the next section, we're going to step into that identity. We're going to use a technique that blends visualization, breath work, and a strange phenomenon from quantum physics that suggests your future self may already be guiding your choices. And once you learn how to tap into it, your entire reality can begin to reorganize around who you decide to become. You've now stepped through the deeper layers of your mind. You've tuned your inner frequency. You've begun the reset. But the question is, what happens next? What changes after the meditation ends? After the quiet fades? After you open your eyes? The answer is powerful. The reset doesn't stop when the meditation ends. It continues through your choices, your attention, your intention, your energy. A quantum reset isn't just a moment of stillness. It's the beginning of a new direction your mind chooses to walk. And once you understand how to carry this shift into your daily life, everything starts to transform. So let's step into the resolution, the part where this becomes real, practical, and life-changing. Here's the truth buried inside this whole journey. Asterisk, asterisk, your mind is constantly broadcasting a signal. And reality responds to whatever you send. Asterisk, asterisk, your thoughts, your emotions, your expectations, they form the frequency you live in. A quantum reset gives you the power to change that signal before life hardens it into a pattern. Once you shift the frequency, your actions shift with it. Your habits shift. Your relationships shift. Your opportunities shift. Your sense of self shifts. Because the outer world quietly rearranges to match the inner world you choose. That's the real secret hidden in all of this. The mind doesn't just shape your thoughts. It shapes your path. Let's paint the picture clearly. Before the reset, your mind feels crowded. Thoughts loop without permission. Stress becomes your default station. You react faster than you want to. You lose time, energy, and presence without noticing. It's like walking through life with fogged glasses. But after the reset, your thoughts slow down just enough for you to choose. You catch old patterns before they drag you in. You breathe easier. Your reactions turn into responses. You gain clarity, not from force, but from alignment. You notice things, opportunities, ideas, and tiny moments of peace. It's like someone cleaned the glass, and suddenly the world looks different, not because the world changed, but because you finally did. To seal this shift into your life, here are 5 simple, powerful steps you can use anytime. Think of them as your personal mental reboot tools. Before you start your day, pause. Close your eyes. Take one slow breath. Then ask yourself, what frequency am I choosing today? Not what you hope for. Not what you fear. What you choose. This one question shifts your brain from autopilot into awareness. It puts you in control of your mental station. Once a day, give yourself 15 minutes. Sit, breathe, visualize the glowing sphere in your mind. Let the inner light rise. Let the channels change. This ritual clears mental clutter the same way you clear storage on a device. Think of it like clearing old tabs your brain forgot it left open. Each night, write down 2 things. Where your mind tuned in today: peace, stress, clarity, distraction. Be honest. Closing parenthesis. Where you want it to tune tomorrow. This simple act signals your brain to adjust overnight. It prepares your mind to walk the new path you're building. Most people underestimate this. But your brain listens when you write. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, do this. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. Long exhales reset the nervous system. This breath is your emergency reboot. The calm within chaos. Do it once, or do it 5 times. Either way, you'll feel the static fade. This is the quantum part. Before you make a choice, any choice, ask, what would the version of me who's already reset do here? The calmer you, the clearer you, the focused you, the healed you, the magnetic you. Act from that version and your present begins to catch up to your future. It's not fantasy. It's alignment. Neuroscience calls it self-directed neuroplasticity. You shape your brain by acting from who you want to become. Quantum physics calls it the observer effect. Reality bends toward the identity you hold in your awareness. Either way, the result is the same. You shift your life by shifting yourself. Before we close this journey, let's anchor everything you've learned. Close your eyes slowly. Take a deep breath. Feel your chest expand. Feel the air move like light. Now imagine your future self standing in front of you. Calm, clear, focused, strong. See their eyes, their posture, their quiet confidence. This version of you already lives in the frequency you're stepping into. Already walks the path you're creating. Already feels the peace you're begging your mind to find. Now imagine merging with that version, stepping into them like sliding into a new skin. Breathing as them, seeing through their eyes. Feel the shift. Feel your inner field tune itself. Feel the reset complete. This is your new signal. You've learned the science. You've felt the shift. You've walked through the reset. And now the real transformation begins in the small choices, the quiet moments, the breath between thoughts. Because if reality is responding to you, what are you broadcasting right now? If this quantum reset opened something inside you, if it gave you clarity, calm, or a new direction, take a moment to like this video. Comment what part hit you the most, and subscribe for more deep dives into quantum mindset, future technology, and the power of conscious transformation. Your new frequency starts now, and I'll see you in the next reset.